All right. So today we're gonna do country walk. It's up here near Meadow Point, Pasco County. I've always loved the entrance of this place. It's beautiful. Got this nice little pond on the right. It feels pretty stately, you know? And we're just gonna take a quick small sample of the different small little neighborhoods in here. It is a CDC or a CDD community, and they have HOAs. All right. They have a community pool, basketball court, or I'm sorry, tennis courts, etc. And we'll stop and take a peek at that as well. You'll notice that in these kind of neighborhoods, they have tons of these lakes because when they dredge to make these waterfront properties, because you have a nice little pond view or alligator pit view, whatever, the homes then get to use that same sand to get built up out of the floodplain. And then also part of your CDD fees are to pay for things like the clubhouse and then keep your HOA fees down, but also the medians, the trees, the maintenance of these roads, things like that. Some of the CDDs have private roads if they're gated, or without gates, they're public roads. But you know, to maintain these sidewalks and to keep everything looking beautiful, the county doesn't come in and do that, and the $67 or whatever it is you pay in the HOA doesn't cover that either, but the CDD does. On the left is where your community clubhouse and pool and whatnot are, so we'll go over and take a peek at that in a second. Then we're gonna go into this little roundabout here. Roundabout we go. Each one's got a name. This is Manor Place. It's really just different ways to break up the neighborhood so that it doesn't feel so monotonous. Each one might have a little bit different elevation and feel to it. These have a little bit more of the Key Westy look. And it's fun what you can do with just changing the element, the elevation of a house, the elements of the elevation. By throwing on a little aluminum siding on the front or a little stone, you really change the elevation of the house, and it gives a different look and appearance. Allows you to make it basically a whole nother neighborhood. So there's that, and we'll go check out another little street here. All right, going back to the roundabout. We're trying to give you a sample, and today we're at Country Walk, and the city name is Wesley Chapel. It's in Pasco County. Taxes are a little cheaper up here. We're passing Evergreen on the right, and then let's just go check out Magnolia Estates. Typically when you pull your comparative values, you want to get houses that are the most similar in the most similar neighborhood. So each one of these little enclaves in this particular neighborhood are not that much uniquely different that you couldn't use each one of them for a comparable sale. But you'll notice that there's elevation differences, kind of like what we saw in the other neighborhood. You know, adding stone or veneer or wood finishes gives a different look to the house, but it doesn't necessarily change the value. So you could use any one of these enclaves so long as their square footage is within 20%. Up or down, and the year is fairly similar, etc. And most everything in here was built in the 2004, 4 or 5 to 2009. In fact, the neighborhood still looks pretty great. Biggest issues we see in these kinds of homes is second floor stucco issues. So when I do my walk-arounds with my clients, I'm always looking at the block work and always looking at stucco, just to make sure that water is not getting into the house. All right, while we're here, we're gonna go into the little circle again. We'll just check out one other little small neighborhood, and then we'll look at common elements. Fieldstone Manor. Again, on the left-hand side, you can see, you know, the playground, swings, the field, soccer or football, and we'll check that out in a bit. Again, you'll notice there's tons of scrub brush here and rustic Florida woods. Sometimes those are called preserves, and sometimes it's just undeveloped land. In this particular case on the right, I believe that's preserve area. You can see how the little knobby cypresses are coming up out of the water, so Florida likes to protect some things. If you want to take it out, you have to pay. So then this little enclave here has got its own roundabout, and then it has neighborhoods just off of it, so, or streets I should say. But we'll just take one of them so you can kind of get a gist for it. Also, good rule of thumb, when you're driving a neighborhood like this, you see these fences around? That generally tells you the kinds of fences that would be allowed in a neighborhood like this, right? It's not white PVC, it's the black wrought iron. If you see others, it doesn't automatically mean that they're allowed, but when you have so many of these black wrought iron fences, then you'll generally know what the HOA will approve or not approve. Also, when you're facing pond water, typically you have to put in like a 3 or 4 foot fence, whatever that size is, and then when you're not on water, then you can do a 6 foot. Ooh, that guy's got block issues. Well, anyway, this is kind of a different part of the neighborhood where the houses are tighter and smaller. They're tighter together and they're smaller, if you notice. When we were in the estates, they were a little bit bigger, like this house that's right in front of us was more common in the estates versus here. So this is a tighter neighborhood. So the sale values were a little bit less probably when they sold these, but price per square foot was probably higher. And that's a big long conversation for a different time. Call me, James Near Callaway, Tampa Central, you know, and we can review all that. But there you go. That's a sample. Let's go check out the common areas. So as you're coming in to Country Walk, the clubhouse and amenities area, you're going to notice that's a pretty sprawling piece of the property. Okay, you come in through this little roundabout here. Clubhouse is on this side, pool, and then another pool over here. There's a lap pool, and then a, kind of a kids pool or a frolic pool. I don't know if that's the right name, a frolic pool. I don't have my fob with me right now, so we're going to mostly peer over the fence like a creeper or something. And you can just sort of check out from a distance how these things roll. But it's very well maintained, handicap accessible, which is pretty nice. But over there's your lap pool. Over here is the kids or the frolic pool. Then behind it, which we're going to see in a second, is a playground and soccer or football fields. And because we're still coming off the pandemic, sometimes clubhouses are open, sometimes they're not. So we'll just see if they'll let us in or if we need a fob. Entrance is in the rear. Now, story of my life. There we go. So, got great tennis courts over here. We've got a couple of clients moving from out of town that like tennis, so we can check that out. These guys, I know folks always want to know when they move to Florida, well, I have to worry about hurricanes and alligators and other crazy things. And yes, those are all very real, but they're probably less frightening than most people would like them to think, because, you know, it makes a good news story, right? Alligator swallows man. But reality is, if you stay away from the alligators, they pretty much stay away from you. Only every once in a while they get in your porch and in your pool, but for the most part, you're fine. I saw a cute little 3-footer over here a minute ago. But I'm not gonna go feed it, right? I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna stay a distance away. See how beautiful. So we're gonna head right over here towards the playground and soccer football fields. A little swing set over here. Cool little playground system. All undercover so that you don't die from heat exhaustion. How awesome is that? And who says there's no room for kids to go out and play these days? Plenty of room. No Nintendos out here, just air, ants, bugs, the whole 9 yards. Basketball. Courts look like they're in good shape. Little pavilion. Come out here and have a little picnic, things like that. And then look at this big old field for, I mean, all sorts of games, I guess. Capture the flag, international capture the flag, Pinko. Very cool. And that's the Alligator Pond, just in case you wondered. Little cool alligator over there. All right, y'all. This is Country Walk.